All right, it is indeed a very, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us at this edition of The Tackle. It is the 10th of February 2022. Tarehe ni 10 mwezi wa pili mwaka 2022. I hope you woken up well and you're ready to join us in this conversation of the Thursday edition of the 10th of February 2022. As usual, we usually have the diaspora edition on Thursdays, but today we have a special feature for you, like we told you yesterday. You've seen it running around, you've seen the posters running around, and you want to have a story of a man that has turned out in a personal way. For myself, I think he's a man who has turned out to be a serious inspiration. Well, if you know this gentleman, and probably you have his number, there's something you'll read on his status: I will be back. Yes, he said, I will be back. And now he's come back and he's saying, I'm back. And he's ready to conquer the world. And we're going to have a conversation on the things. What was it like growing up? The things that he has gone through, being a champion, and at some point as well, going through a lot of problems that he was able to undergo. Some of them that he has said, man, it was pinned on me. But anyway, you can eat from the horse's mouth. Lakini kama kawaida, I request that you join, please like. When you like, we get to know that you're watching us. And that way, like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. This is The Tackle, and it begins now. Lakini kama kawaida, lazima tuende mbele za Mungu tuombe, alafu basi kurudi na kuja kusikia ni kina nani wameweza kuamka, alafu tuwape salamu zenu. Mighty Father, we come before you this morning. We worship you, glorify your name. Thank you for another opportunity to be alive. We thank you for this conversation as we have it. May it edify the fabric of this country. For we pray, trusting and believing. Amen and amen. All right. When you join in, please like. When you like, we get to know that you're watching us, and that you like, please share. When you share, you give someone else an opportunity to watch the broadcast. So get ready for the conversation, and I think you can almost guess who this man is. This man is ASBEL KIPROP, the middle 1,500 meters champion, who has conquered the world before. And at the top of his career, he had a mishap that has taken him off the scene for 4 years. I would just like to take you to a place where you imagine that you'll be told not to do what you do every day for 4 years. Let's assume what I do every day, that I bring the show to you every single morning. If someone showed up today in this studio and told me that for the next 4 years, I'll not be waking up to do what I do. You can imagine if someone showed up at your workplace today where you work and tells you that you'll not be waking up early in the morning to put on a suit and go to the office for the next 4 years. I don't know what it feel like for you. Kama wewe pia ni mtu wa mkono, unaenda pale unachomanga chuma, unafanya welding pale. If someone wakes up this morning and tells you that for the next 4 years, you'll not be at your place of work, I don't know how it will be like for you. I don't know if you'll survive the 4 years. I don't know how you'll take it up with you. I mean, it's a story that I'd want us to hear. That is ASBEL KIPROP, the 1,500 meters champion, who put our country Kenya on the international platform, an international map. At some point, he was also going through his personal challenges that we saw. Nilisikia wakati mwingine akasema ni kama he was considering a way also taking his life. He'll also tell us that story as well. But the story that I want to really to bring it out very strongly is most of us, it's very easy for us to crumble into our difficulties. When things become so hard on you, when you're carrying everything's on your shoulder, it's very easy for you to collapse under that weight and you give up. It's very easy to give up. But we have a man who has been away for 4 years. On the first day that he was banned, he said that I will be back, and he's back today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sharon.
How are you?
I think good morning. I'm fine, thank you.
Good to see you finally.
Yeah, good to see you.
I've been trying to look. This time I tried to look for you just when you had been banned. I think almost 3 years ago.
Yes.
That we could have a conversation at that time. I was not able to find you, but I'm happy that finally we can get to have this conversation. And I'm honestly very, very proud of you. I'm very happy to see you back on your feet.
I appreciate
it. It takes a lot to get back on your feet.
Sure.
When you're knocked down, it takes a lot of strength to get back on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
And I think your story, apart from, of course, speaking about the things that you've gone through, the most powerful part of it is how you've been able to keep doing what you do every single day for 4 years that you've been away from the game. It's like me waking up every day, speaking at home on a studio that nobody's listening to me, running my show for 2 hours for 4 years.
Yeah.
I don't think any other person would really do that. And I would like us to get deep into that conversation. I would also like you to take us through what it has been like, growing up, what you're doing, how did you become a champion, how were you mad, and how you've been able to live through all these things that you've done. And as well, you've come out very strongly for the last 4 years to insist that you were set up.
Oh, yeah.
You never doubt.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You've been very consistent about that truth.
True.
You will take us through that. But before that, I want you to give an opportunity to speak to our audience here. Maybe introduce yourself, who you are. Once again, I know they know you.
Thank you, Cheryl, for having me in the studio this morning. My name is ASBEL KIPROP, 3 times world 1500 meters champion, and 2008 Olympic gold medalist in the 1500. Thank you for having me in the studio, and thank you for letting me have this conversation with you before this camera and before your studio. I really appreciate having hosting me here this morning. Yes.
Thank you so much for as well giving us an opportunity to have this conversation with you. I know a lot of people have been trying as well to reach out to you to have this conversation. It's the biggest conversation in the country at the moment. But before we get to the things, of course, that I've almost made you have a conversation at this point, the point of being at the top of your career, and suddenly when you wake up in the morning, you're at the bottom. Let's get back to where you started from. Where did you grow up?
Well, I've been nurtured in a family of athletics because my father is a retired athlete. Growing up, we could see some trophies in our home, and the pictures that he took, when he went to race in London in Crystal Palace in way back before we were born even. I think those are what motivated myself and my kid brother Victor to want to emulate him in order to have this to be able to travel places like he did, and to put a flight in, and also to run like your father. So I can say I have been motivated, nurtured in the family of athletics, and began running since I was 13 years, and training way back when I was in class 5. And I can say it is something that it's been.
You grew up in?
I grew up in, yeah, sure.
Uko ni wapi? Unatoka nyumbani ni wapi?
Well, I come from Simat, in
Nandi?
Uasin County.
Okay.
And
oh yes, at the border of Uasin County.
Yes, growing up before moving to this place called Simat, we come from Celia, Kipkaren Celia. That's where my father lived when he was running those days, and serving in the National Police Service when we were young, when we were kids. Yes.
Okay, so what was your father's specialty of athletics?
Well, he did 1500 and
also
8.
Like you.
He did 8 and both 8 and 1500, and those are the events that I do. Yes.
What is his name? Maybe we can try and remember.
His name is David Kebene. You'll find
David
him when you search. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So you come from a family of how many children?
Well, we are 3.
3 children.
Yeah, we are 3.
All athletes?
No, one is not. We are 2 athletes.
2 of you athletes.
Yes.
The other brother you said is Victor.
It's Victor, yeah. Victor Kebene.
Okay.
Yeah.
He also runs 1,000.
He does 8 and 15 sometimes.
Yes. But so how was it like growing up for you? Because it sounds a bit easy, because you said you grew up in a family where man was traveling.
Okay, growing up is just like any other normal African in other families, especially okay, Dad used to work in Kikanjo, and we used to stay at home in Celia, Kipkaren Celia, and before moving to Simat, and we grew up, and we used to go to Kikanjo visit him. And there was a time I studied there when I was young. Went to school in Kikanjo, and we grew up in that manner. And lucky enough, coincidentally, I became a police officer too.
Yeah, before athletics?
No, just immediately after being an elite athlete. And I was recruited to the National Police Service, and I also became a police officer like my father. Yeah.
That's why you still are a cop till now?
Yeah. I'm a chief inspector of police.
Right. So, apart from, of course, your father, what else inspired you to want to be an athlete?
Well, it came a time when we were in primary schools, and we would watch the Olympic Games in 2004. I would ask my father, who do you think is going to win the 1500? And because it was his event, and I know, that was after he retired. In new match, he has a lot of experience in terms of 1500 meters. And he said, okay, if not Bernard Lagat, then it's going to be Jamel Garouche. And all of a sudden it became Jamel Garouche. So I wanted to be, to emulate it, not knowing that the next Olympic, that's in 2008, I'll be participating in the event that we were watching, immediately when I joined the high school. Yeah, so lucky enough, I was the next Olympic champion. And that is the progression began when I went to train at Kipchoge Keino's training center here in Eldoret. And that's where I developed my talent and nurtured well, got good training facilities, and now I got a Nike contract and good training program. Yes.
All right. So you started officially your athletic, you running officially started in 2008.
I began in 2007 when I qualified for the World Cross Country that was held here in Kenya, in Mombasa, and I managed to claim the victory and won Kenya the gold medal in the 8 kilometers.
2007.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We want to remind you that we are coming to you live from Rupa's Mall or Rupa's Fun and Fitness Center here at Rupa's Mall. Next, when you are at Rupa Mall at the corner, unaweza ona pale imeandikwa Rupa's Fun and Fitness Center. This is an all-round place that you find recreational facilities. You find state-of-the-art gymnastics. Unapata swimming pool ambayo iko heated. Watu wanasema Eldoret is very cold. I'll tell you the swimming pool is very warm and heated. Na pia tuko na studio hapa pia where you come to you live and bring you conversations live from this place. And so you can visit us anytime you get some time, uweze kutembea hapo uone Rupa's Fun and Fitness Center. You always welcome here. Na pia ukiona nyuma yangu pale, they have a plan for you on Valentine's Day. You have a conversation on the day of love. Uweze kuzungumza na mpenzi wako, kuleta mpenzi wako hapa. At the back utaona there are some things that are going to get on offer. Kuna roses for the ladies. There's some wine as well. And come here and you'll be able to get to see more Rupa's Fun and Fitness Center hapa at the corner of Rupa Mall. Ukiweza fika mtaona vizuri kibao. Ukisema tumekuja tumekutuma na Gerald Bito kama the tackle, basi unaweza kupata discount zako kwa njia shwari zaidi. Na pia ukiona mbele yetu hapa, the House of Pep Tank keeps refreshing and recharging us. Recharge dawa iko hapa, by the way. I think this is good for you.
I will take that.
Aina sukari,
yeah, I know.
lemon, honey, and ginger. So I think it will be good as well to keep you refreshed as you are coming back.
Thank you.
All right, let's switch it further. You're becoming a champion. Running 207, clinching the victory. 208, I think you clinched another victory again. Now, how was your professional athletic life from that point?
Well, it began in a promising way, very promising way. Citing that I was training under the care of KIPROP, who is much respected and in the home of athletics, in the world of athletics, and getting the contract from Nike in developing, in qualifying in every now and then to represent Kenya. It's a Olympics and every World Championships. Since I began, I made the team, every single year for the last decade. I would participate at the trials and make the team, regardless of finish top 3. So I had a promising foundation and a very strong one. So I became an elite in House of Athletics. That is it.
How was your life before that, and what did it do to you? Did it change anything about you as a person?
Well,
life before the championships and the stardom, you becoming a champion every year you go, people saying ASBEL. What did it change between 207 backwards and 207 forward?
Well, it happened. Okay, it is a reflection of what we call realizing your dream. Because you're having a dream call of becoming so and so. Every kid has a dream call. That's realizing your dream. Okay, I lived on it. I realized my dream, and due to potential that I had in the hope, in the determination, and also all it takes to be, an elite athlete. It happened, and many things change. Now that you can have a contract. You can travel overseas like you dreamed before. You can compete and win sometimes. You can hang medals, hang an Olympic gold medal in your home wall, build yourself a house, and buy some land. I realized the dream.
Drive a good car.
Drive a good, nice car. Even got married.
Bila championships ilikuwa ngori. Ilikuwa noma. Hata ndoa ni noma. So I mean, it almost overhauled who you are as a person at that point. Do you think there's a bit part of you that you lost in that process?
I can say I lost a lot because learning is a process, and at that time you cannot realize wherever you are. But
when you're dropping the balls,
but when you retreat, you'll be able to know and realize and identify the errors that you might have gone through, during the journey, and I can say I have learned a lot, from that moment. Okay, remember the year 2008, if I'm not wrong, when Harrier, this one came, Harrier, it was sold at 1.6 million.
It was fresh.
Yeah, it was sold at 1.6 million. When you went to Simat in Pai, London, 1 acre of land was sold at 280,000. So instead of buying almost 10 acres of
10
land,
acres of land.
you're buying an area, it loses value. So, we keep learning,
Yes,
from
in the
process,
process, yes.
in this process. Yeah.
So, well, so there's a lot. I'd want to pick some of the lessons that maybe you speak. What would you tell your 208 self? The person that ASBEL was in 208 and 207. What would you tell that person this morning? What is that you tell?
Well, I'll advise that person, okay, that tiny me, to be patient and to consider priorities, especially when it comes to professional athletics. By then, we never took seriously. Okay, it was the talent and the kind of training, but we never took it as serious as such.
As a profession.
As a profession,
yes.
Because there was talent, and this kind of training we are given, in the camp. And if you had listened to the coach when he asked you to sleep and stay in camp, that duration only 5 years, I would be clinching world records and world records, because he knew the development in athletics. But for us, we just, it was fun also, going to Signature. I remember there's a club called Signature.
Yes, back then.
You stay until 5 in the morning, then you're going for morning run. You don't sleep, you don't get enough sleep. Okay, that was youth life.
Yes,
and I would encourage any other athlete that is youthful to mind to mind the lifestyle. There is time for everything, and if they mind that one, they will be able not only to in terms of managing their earnings, but also the potential in running.
Yes.
We will be able even to possible to see 325s from these young guys in the 1500, or even 140s in the 800, or even much world records than those we are seeing today in the 5K. If only these athletes that we have today, these young ones, these upcoming, will maintain a little patience and emulate people like Eliud Kipchoge, and we will see them break records and enjoy their life after. Yes.
All right, that's very powerful advice to the ASBEL of 207 and 208, and most of us are there. And it gets to a point where you get to a point where things are working out for you, you easily lose focus on the things that matter to you. And if you have any questions, by the way, for ASBEL KIPROP, if you have any questions, please send it to us on the comment section. Kama kuna maswali yote that you'd want to ask ASBEL KIPROP, please send it on the comment section. And before we roll it to the next conversation, ASBEL, there's something you mentioned. What you tell your 207, 208 self: be patient, be disciplined. Priorities, right, as well. You mentioned about you choosing to buy an area when land was 280,000 per acre. Those are things that you spoke to your 207 self that maybe you not do today. You do things differently.
Yeah.
And most of the time, our athletes, our professional athletes on the challenging land have been accused of doing those things that you're mentioning. And you find that the careers of our athletes become so short-lived. One point, someone is famous, they are bagging on all the medals and all that. Then suddenly, they are done and dusted. What do you think is a problem?
Well, when you get back there, it comes also with training, the kind of training that they're doing. There is, that is according to coach, that's the experience I was told when I was training at IOC, Kipchoge Keino's IOC camp. And it's about the training that you begin early. You have to begin in November, targeting May, so that you have a good foundation. What the challenge that most of our athletes are facing is coming to rush into training. I mean, delaying not training in November. Cited by March, the target is May. They begin to rush into training
for 2 months
and exhaust their muscles and end up risking injuries. That's the results that have put a lot of athletes shorten their careers. And I can say that is the priority, not a priority, the major issue that they are facing. Yes.
Any other issue? Do you think discipline?
The one I told you, when most of us, kept money like the boom, amount of money. Yeah, because as I've told you that you find yourself, partying overnight, and then you're having workout tomorrow at your crib. You arrive there and you haven't even taken dinner maybe last night. So it brings down the strength, in the muscles. Yes.
And before you get to your story, I want you to speak to. We have several upcoming athletes that you're seeing, especially in our community, and also generally in the country. You realize that even athletics is moving even away from Rift Valley only. We're having champions in Central Kenya, having champions in Eastern Kenya, Ukambani and all that. In Western Kenya, we're having Omanyala, who has been breaking records. We have a lot of young people who have been coming on the scene. what are the 5 things that you tell them? 5. I don't need to be able to get 5, but just 5 things that you tell them from your journey as ASBEL KIPROP.
Well, what I'll tell encourage. You mean encouraging the upcoming athletes or the newcomers?
The five things that you tell them to do right or not to do, what to do or what not to do.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay,
Yes.
what I'll encourage first of all is to keep the patience and to seek. I mean, to consider priorities when it comes to this sport. And number 2 is to keep the sport as a profession. It's no longer an amateur thing. It is a profession. And number 3 is to keep the discipline that is needed in terms of when it comes to athletics, as much as the sport is concerned.
Yes.
And number 4 is to avoid never to avoid I can say lusts, if I may use the correct word. And then number 5, I think, is to consider their religion, regardless. Thank God. Yeah.
You've had it, guys. Those are things that you cannot underestimate. This is coming from a champion who has been on the top and he's back again and he's trying to rediscover his path on the world of athletics. And I think he's the best man to speak to any athlete who is coming up. And anything that he gets to say, I want to believe I would go deep into building the character, your character, as well as a person. Now, 4 years ago, ASBEL KIPROP was banned from competing in athletics. And the reasons behind that, doping, they said. And generally, I'm reading here, my dictionary defines doping as administering drugs to a racehorse, a greyhound, or an athlete in order to inhibit or enhance sporting performance. All right? That's what he was accused of doping or using drugs to ensure that he could do better or enhance his performance 4 years ago. That's what he was accused of. And he has come out strongly for the last 4 years to continue denying it and saying that I was set up. I've never doped. I'm talented. I've won all these medals genuinely, fair and square. For the last 4 years, I've tried to have this conversation with him since he had an issue as well as that at the beginning of that time. I think as well every other person was trying to speak to him and we are not able to have a conversation. But we are very lucky today to get him at a point where he's getting back. And this is the best point for me. I mean, we are meeting the horse at the race again. We're meeting the horse at the field again, who's ready to charge and race again. So, that's what he was accused of, doping, generally, as you've had the definition, using drugs to enhance performance. He has continued to insist that he did not dope. Now he's getting a chance again to compete. I think he'll be competing this year. He'll be competing this year. If what I'm saying is right, he'll be competing this year again. And we want to see what is that this man who has been away for 4 years is charging to do again on the world of athletics. What was the story? How did it get there?
Well, let me take you back to testing, undergoing tests. It's been my routine since 2007 when I came into athletics scene. And remember, let me take you back to Beijing Olympic Games in 2008, where I won silver. Well, the initial winner was later tested from the samples collected in Beijing. Olympics, and it was retested, and it was discovered that Ramsey had used a performance enhancing drug called Zera, ZERA. I don't know the meaning, but it later turned up. I was handed a gold medal here in Kenya. I think becoming the first Olympic gold medal to be handed in African soil, and I was recited the national anthem at an hotel in Nairobi. I think it was Intercontinental. The members of the IOC were present in the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, including the Athletics Kenya, the members of the Ministry of Sports. And it was an event that was recited. It was a national anthem. It was a victory ceremony that was done here in Kenya. It was mysterious. So this thing triggered me to go and fight doping. If you have ever seen some t-shirts I used to print around 2014, showing ASBEL KIPROP against doping, because that thing robbed me the glory, the podium, the Olympic podium. Remember, I was 19, becoming the youngest Olympic gold medalist since 1912. I think it was called Arnold Jackson in 1912. So I was the youngest in this up to 2008. So it triggered me to fight against doping. And every time Remember, people were pan. They used to pan for 2 years. Then I say 2 years is just a few years. So now was it Doha Qatar raised the voice that the term should be increased, should be raised to 4 years, so that people will fear to dope because they will fear, okay, I will be away
for 4 years.
For a long time in the sport.
Yes.
Okay? I preached this gospel all along. When Uhuru, remember that time when it was trending in Kenya that we almost missed to go to Olympics in Rio, because many athletes were caught, were testing positive of doping. And when President Uhuru Kenyatta signed into law the anti-doping bill, I voiced it. It was on a newspaper, it was a nation newspaper, and say that I'm lucky that I've seen this thing, Kenya passing laws that dopers, that prosecutes cheats during my career moment when I'm still an active athlete. So take you back there. So somebody who's been fighting, who's been focal in fight against doping. Do you think that now I go and dope, knowing that I am the one who asked the term to be raised to 4 years? Yeah? I am the one who even praised, and saying, okay, I'm happy, I'm lucky that the laws has been passed during my career moment. So is it me now to go and look for EPO and inject myself wherever, and knowing that even the testers are coming? Remember, I was notified before, which was illegal even. Knowing that they are coming, and then I present myself to be tested. And
you knew you are
that's why I've been protesting. I've protested enough. There was even a time that I would run mad, because I would bring, and everything I think is that thing. There's no day for the last 4 years. There's not even a single day that I didn't think about that the doping implication. And I would say, who could be behind this?
Yeah.
I was asking myself many questions, and without answers. You cannot. As far as I'm concerned, it is hard to convince the giant, which is the World Athletics, or then the IAAF.
Yes.
You cannot challenge them even in a court, even if when you are true, even if you know you are true, because resources-wise, you cannot compete with a system.
IAAF.
Yeah, the charity is theirs, the charge, the prosecutor, and everything. It's upon you to go and you are saying, okay, prove yourself. How will you prove yourself when you give out your urine in the sample that you have not taken anything? Yeah.
So let me ask you, husband. Yeah. If I gave you a Bible today, right now, this morning,
even 2 Bibles.
If I gave you a Bible this morning,
I will swear.
You'd hold it and you'd swear.
I will swear before God, the living God, I never take.
Never.
Never.
You've never taken anything.
I've never taken any performance-enhancing drugs. Not even performance-enhancing drugs.
No.
Even supplements. I never use supplements in my entire life. Yes.
Your entire career, you've never used anything that answer.
It is a career that I respect so much. It is a sport that is my father's event. It is sport. It is also living in the roof of Kipchoge Keino. It was impossible for ASBEL KIPROP to disgrace the person who taught my father how to run, and to disgrace my father, and to disgrace myself, and even the laws that I preached, the advocacy I spoke against the doping. It was not possible, not unless anything else. Yes.
So you'd swear you've never. Yes. All right. ASBEL KIPROP here is saying you take a Bible, not even just one Bible, even 2 Bibles, 3 Bibles, 4 Bibles, 5 Bibles, 6 Bibles, as many Bibles as we can get. You can get them, and he can swear that he has never, not only doped, but he has never ever even used a supplement in his athletic career. How do you feel?
Well, it was
How do you feel?
It was hurting. It was hurting, and every time it was hurting. It wasn't easy, especially the first time when it was everywhere in the news. Okay, before I had known, because they have to notify you before, ask you to keep the secret before as they do the investigation. But then I was dead, like inside. Okay, but I was thinking there is hope. I was having hope that maybe these guys, there is some error somewhere that is their own error that they will identify, and I will not say them. I will not say them. I will understand them, because this is a sport that I respect so much, and I don't want anything called doping to appear on my name. Okay, so it, especially when it came everywhere in social media, everywhere in the media platforms, in regards of the sports media, letsrun.com, wherever, the comments,
That's bad.
Nobody could handle that. It only took a strong person to handle a false. Okay, a doper, that's one, the person who can handle, because they are guilty. And they know, okay, I messed up, I have been caught. That is what they do. But an innocent person, an innocent soul, seeing those comments, seeing people reject you, seeing your Nike contract stop, seeing your management sideline you, seeing friends shy away. Hey, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. I reached a point that it was, but I think it built me. It didn't kill me. It strengthened me, and I'm back. But knowing I came back with one thing, knowing that in our prisons today, in the world prisons, there could be a percentage, either 2% or 1% of innocent humans, and they are suffering.
They are suffering.
And I'm coming to run for them. Yes.
So how many times were you tested? Recharge kwanza kwa sababu hii maneno. How many times were you tested? This is not dope. We don't want to get you back again on the trail. Yes, Kevin. So you can be rest assured that we have not spiked it. But anyway, so how many times were you tested at that time?
Well, that week alone, the 22nd of November, if I can recall, 2017, 22nd of November, 27th and 29th. That week I was tested 3 times. Okay. But it is the only 27th one that is alleged. The implicated sample is the 27th of November. This 22nd is clean. This is 1 week. This 27th, they say it's tainted. This is the one that they say with EBO. And 29th, it is clean. And that is November. There is no event I'm going to raise. I don't know. I wonder if in their mind, or how the EPO is being administered. Is it being taken so that you train? Who knows? I don't have even that mind, because I don't. Why should I?
So after that one was after that sample was declared tainted or intoxicated, or the EPO, was there any other test that was done after? And how did it turn out? Was you tested again?
After then, that is the implicated 27. I've told you, I was tested 22nd, 27th, and 29th. And then I was tested in December. I guess it was 24th.
And it was clear.
Clear. Even January. Twice in January of 2018. Clear. Now I've been tested since 2007. It is on record. I've been tested 140 something times. And now as I'm coming back, I've been tested 4 times.
Clean?
Yeah.
Clean?
Now that I'm coming.
Straight as a ruler. All right. So,
out of competition.
So let me ask you, sir. So this thing was declared, you've dropped. You didn't see it coming clearly from the way you're saying it. You never even for a minute saw this coming. So you're in shock as this come from. Of course, you took your time to try and analyze the situation and the relationship that you've been having within the professional body. Where would you place this? Is there a place all this time for 4 years? Is there a place you place this? And maybe you're like, did you have any issues?
I do not want to speculate, but what I know is that there is an error that must be identified. Even if I'm to call upon the WADA itself as a body, it's a fact that I didn't do it. Okay, so this error must be identified, or else it's becoming a parasite or a mole inside the clean place, the testing authority of the world of sport. Okay, that thing should be identified, or else it will hurt an innocent soul, an innocent athlete, an innocent sports person, an innocent piker, racer, an innocent footballer, an innocent athlete in general, an innocent swimmer. It will hurt somebody if we don't identify this thing. I have been hurt, I have gone through, innocently. I've been panned. I have seen the tower that I had built in terms of contract, collapse. Okay. I have seen friends run away. I've watched an Olympic on TV that I would be there.
And you're not there.
Yeah.
In those moments, how would you feel?
Pardon?
In those moments, how would you feel? And you're watching an Olympic somewhere, and I could be there.
I didn't even want to watch my event. I would sleep, not watching the 1500. Yeah, I would sleep, to be honest. Because it would hurt me. Because I watched Doha, for reason Doha in 2019, and watched the World Championships, and I wasn't comfortable because
you got emotional about it.
I was so emotional because I would be there.
Yeah. You would have been there.
Yeah.
Now, let me take you back a bit to your campaign, the things that you mentioned about the campaigns that you are running, anti-doping campaign. Have you, at any single point, maybe thought maybe that could have been the reason that happened? Is there someone maybe that was trying to slow you down? About doping in the general athletics professional body, do you feel there are people who benefit from it? And have you ever felt like maybe there's someone who was trying to punish you using your own campaign?
As I told you, I don't want to speculate things. Okay. Because I'll be on records speculating things that I don't know. Okay. But what I know is that I didn't do, that I didn't hear.
That's what you know. You speak about the things that you're sure about.
Yes.
That you know you didn't do. Yes. Okay, that's very that's fair enough to hear from me, because I also don't want to put you on record. And before you get back, they'll be like, okay, go back first to complete the investigations on the allegations that you made. But there's something as well that you mentioned, that even apart from your career collapsing, your social life collapsed. Friends and associates and all that. Are there people who stood with you and they say that we know ASBEL has not docked?
Yes, there are people who stood with me. Okay. Yes.
Who are these?
But a few people. Those are your parents. Number one.
Wow.
Because they trust you. When you go and tell them I didn't do it.
Yes.
When if I had done it, I would go and tell my parents, okay, I did this, and I was caught. Okay. So I can't lie to them. Okay. Those are the people that gave me that trust. Yes. So everybody would.
Your parents understood with you.
Yes. Okay. Everybody would have a second thought. Maybe. 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 Okay. 50-50.
There's no one outside your family that stood with you and said, we know ASBEL has not docked.
There's some people anyway, they can't mention their names. Even some are good friends and good elite athletes. Say, ASBEL, we know. I personally know that you didn't do that. Okay. Yeah.
Are there some who said you did?
Who said I did?
You said you docked. Some of your friends and associates, close people. Are there some?
And some people could mock you. Say, oh, so you've been running and you're doing dope, really? And I'm like, who? Okay. And those are people who hurt the most. Yeah. The most are the ones who say you dope. Okay. Yeah. There are also people who would wish to encourage you. Say, accept and move on. That's the thing that I didn't want to hear. Again, accept and move on. Why should I accept an error? Yes. Why should I accept something that I know something is wrong?
That you know you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It will be on record as well.
Someone say kubali yaishi. What's that sort of a word? It's a stupid word. Kubali yaishi. Kubali nini?
All right. I want to pick on your mind. I don't know if there's a way you can give us an almost chronology of events from when you were banned before 4 years ago. I don't know if you can just give us a chronology of what has happened in your life. Is it true that at some point you were considering as well to commit suicide?
Oh,
did you ever consider that?
It was becoming too much, especially receiving because we went to London to do the case. We were in the tribunal. So after explaining myself to my lawyer, Katwa Keegan, explaining myself in London at a tribunal there, giving lots of details, what might have happened, and even giving evidence of what I have been saying in papers and records about doping, how it should be criminalized, and how it happened, the real actual event, how I was notified against the rules before, and how I gave my innocent sample in the morning because I didn't want to miss a test. How transparent I've been in the test, that explanation and how innocent I was. Okay, we were asked to come to Kenya, and we wait for the verdict. It was on a Saturday, and I was in church when it was in news. I happened to see in my phone.
Breaking news.
Yeah, the news that I've broken, that I have been handed a 4-year ban. I didn't even finish the service, and I don't remember if I have gone back to church since then. I went outside there, I slept in my car, waited for my wife to come. Kalala kwa gari too, and I'm seeing now it's burning like fire push. In the Panama for 4 years, and then in the news, every channel, TV in the night, ASBEL KIPROP has been banned, handed a 4-year ban by the IWF. Everywhere on the social, on the internet. Then I went somewhere and had a drink. I've had. I don't know what I wrote in my phone, because I remember some big elite, some elites calling me people, including even more common. I think he called me, and I cut his phone. He could call me. I don't want, But okay, events passed by, and lucky enough, I was given counseling by my post, organized by the National Police Service, and in Nairobi, and I was contained, and I was taken to attend a course, an advanced investigation course, and in Kikanjo. That's what kept me busy. And before I realized, time was moving, and I was coming down, and I would now think of regaining myself and coming back, because nobody has authority at hand or in pen or in book to stop anybody's destiny, regardless of the implanting of whatever the EPOs in the tests, regardless of coming up with fake results, with untrue results. There is no kind of intimidation. There is no kind of inaccuracy, and there is no kind of conspiracy that can stop one's destiny, because destinies are given by God alone. Yeah. Talents are given by God. Okay? Nobody should sit and decide today that I want to finish his career. His time will come. Yeah. Thank you.
For how long were you in this phase then, that you're talking about? You are drinking, you are depressed, and you're having these very crazy thoughts about what you. For how long did you sink in that phase?
For almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years.
I can tell you, when I started counting days in last year, to 2nd of February 2022, I wasn't accept, because okay, it was 365 days. Now it's 1 year. I want weekend training. I train a little bit, and I don't feel, I don't have that the push, I don't have the morale. Sometimes I would train for 1 month, and then I stop for 1 month completely, without training. And every time I was intoxicated, I would tweet something. If you follow that, I would tweet something. I would release what is in my mind. It was even becoming monotonous, even to my followers on Twitter. It was becoming a monotony, but it was something that's so painful, that's so hard, and it is something that even up to now. But okay, honestly, thank God I am back to begin again like an amateur, because I started like an amateur. I will keep the sport, and I'll never change my color. I will continue to preach, run clean, and I will run clean like I did before, like I've done all this time. And hopefully in future they will consider that one, the error that occurred, so that it will not hurt.
They'll apologize to you.
So that it will not hurt an innocent athlete. It's not all the people that can go through that, especially being Olympic champion, being 3 times Olympian, being 3 times world champion, and being that name, and all of a sudden, boo, you took EPO. Really? That was fatal, to be honest. That person wanted to kill me, because if I had taken the substance, wherever the EPO they're claiming, I would be full comfortable. I would even know, I would hide without even coming to social media. Or even after coming back like this, I would not be coming to TVs, to your show, because I would be ashamed of myself, of what I did. Okay? But in innocence reveals itself. Okay? But anyway, it's over. I have
So for 4 years, for 4 years you've been down, and how does it? For the last 4 years you've been struggling with this.
Yes.
You've never really recovered from it.
Yeah.
You've never recovered psychologically from the damage.
I recovered only on second when I would go and train with other athletes. Because
the other day.
Yes, because you know, you're not allowed to train with that. Even your brother. Even if you are seen training even with your brother, you will be aggravating circumstances.
Wow.
So they can pardon you. They can add you some years. Okay. So I kept that discipline even when I know I am right. So I kept it for the rules. See, I didn't want to defile them that one. Yeah.
So for the last 4 years, have you been training anywhere at your personal capacity?
Yeah, I've been training alone. You know, personally, I've been doing my training without using the facilities used by other athletes. Yes.
Okay. So I would like to ask you as well. This is it's a bit personal, and you have a choice whether to answer it or not. And there are a lot of things that clearly then fell apart from you. You obviously became a different person. 4 years before, you could walk the streets and you were a different person, a champion. Every other person wants to associate with you. Probably even your family members were proud of you. Even at the end of family, personal life, maybe in my relationship, people also proud of you. They want to associate with you. Friends want to be with you. They want to go with you to signature as well. Then suddenly, you walk in the streets and people point at you and say, "Do you last them?" You have been banned for 4 years. You've talked about considering suicide, struggling with even trying to live with the decision that had been made for you, being banned for 4 years. What did this thing do to your personal life? Even outside professional life. What did it do to your personal life?
You know, it first of all, it defiled my fans' trust. Okay? Not even my fans alone. Even other fans, the whole athletics fans trusted towards me. It defiled that one first. And number two, it put a scar on my integrity. That is number two. And number three, it implanted something that I'm not free. Okay? Because it's always in my mind that, I know people think that I did it, and I didn't do that. Okay? It became something that's why I'm preaching and saying that it should not happen to anyone. Such a thing, even those who did that to me in their careers, must not happen. Okay? I remember now there is somebody in a lab doing that, a known person, and at a lab in Stockholm. How about my image? The world-class athlete. Okay? That person really messed up my career, and personally, because I'm not guilty, I'm free. That's why you see me attending any interview I'm invited to. Because
did it affect your personal life? Your personal life?
Personally, it affected me career-wise, resources, and remember, your contract stopping instantly like that, and it's a contract that you have built for years, and social life, it changed everything. Yes.
How do you feel now? I can see it in your eyes that you're still not yet where you would say, how do you feel? You speak about all these things. How does your heart feel like? What is the state of your heart?
No, the thing is,
do you feel pain?
Wait a minute. I felt the pain.
It's been 4 years.
I've felt the pain for 4 years. But now I feel a relief because I can now begin from scratches again. I can run again. I will compete again, regardless of the trust that they have broken from my fans. I know they have taken a lot from me. Okay? But at least I still have the run. I will run again.
He'll be back. He says, I will be back. He's back and he's ready again to compete at the World Championships. I think it's coming up in. World Championships coming up.
It's this July.
It's coming in July.
In Oregon.
Yes, so he's ready. Oregon.
In Eugene, Oregon. Yes.
So he's ready to compete again. He's coming back. And I keep saying it. Whenever I'm talking to him, I see his status. I will be back. And he's back again. I'll be running in July in the World Championships in Oregon. Oregon where?
Eugene, Oregon, the USA.
Oregon, in the USA. That is ASBEL KIPROP, speaking about the things that he's been able to go through at the top of his career as a champion, as a world champion, to a man who walks the streets and every other person doesn't seem to want to associate with them, good friends. And part of the people that he feels were very close to him. And he's spoken to us about the things that he's gone through, how he's been able to survive the 4 years, how he still feels about this decision that Rob made, that he'd been banned for 4 years because he doped. He still insists. And repeat again. You say how many Bibles can you hold?
No, you can give me a paper.
As many Bibles as you have.
Yeah.
Is there someone who has a Bible here? I'm going to Biblia tafadhali nisaidie. Mkubwa hapa ashikilia amesema he can swear that he never doped. Now, you are the one who brought in the 4-year ban rule on doping. If you had a chance, would you review and reduce that?
No, I don't. I have. Wait a minute. I don't have any sympathy to any athlete who dopes.
Okay.
That's what I can say, from my heart. Because without doping, without the athletes that dope, I would not go through such an experience. Okay, there will never be
a story
laboratories
about doping, yes.
to test athletes. There would never be.
So
they are the cause of even my the challenge I went through. Are the athletes that dope. So I do not have any sympathy on them. No.
Okay. So you'll never reduce it. Would you increase it?
I don't want to say that.
Right. He's not. Punguza. He's not sure whether anaweza ongeza. And we are very happy for you, ASBEL, as you turn back on the trail. And this is a tackle, a special edition of the 10th of February 2022. And we're speaking to a special man who has been through the fire and came out. Honestly, by the way, I don't think I would stand. I don't think I would. I mean, it's very difficult. You can imagine counting the days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 365, that's 1 year. You're still not doing what you do. Counting another time, counting another days, 365 up to 4 years. It's not an easy thing that any other person would do. Personally, I would feel about it. And that's exactly why I seem to draw a lot of inspiration from how he has been able to handle this thing. And this is an encouragement to anyone of you who is going through something this morning, that you can always come out. You can maintain your mindset and you can keep it and ensure that you can rise again. They say men fall, a few rise. Many fall, very few rise. So I hope you're going to be one of those guys who are going to rise up. Is there something then that as you come back, you're speaking to the world of the people who have been watching you, your fans that have been off you for the last 4 years? Is there something you want to speak to them? That, guys, I've been away for 4 years. Some of them actually might actually be believing that you did that. You never know. Some fans they say, okay, maybe you did it. Some of them believe you did not, and they're eager to see you back on the track. What's your message to the world?
Well, my message to the world is I want to appreciate everyone that supported me all through the journey, all through my career, and I also want to regret and whatever happened in my career as in terms of the false doping allegation. It is regret about what happened. And to my fans, I'll be back, and I'm back already. And to the athletics fans, those who live in doubt, want to. It is regrettable what happened. That your trust was defiled against my career. That it is not the end of it.
All right. What would you want to tell to IAF? Is there any message you have for them?
The athletics world, I would wish to urge so that they consider investigating about the alleged 27th October 2017 sample that was taken from me, and how it. Okay, how can I say this? How it happened that I was falsely accused of doping.
There's a body called WADA, I think, World Anti-Doping Agency. Is there a body like that?
The WADA is the World Anti-Doping Agency.
Okay.
That is their responsibility is to test.
Okay.
Yes.
So those are the people that tested you.
Yes.
Do you have any message for them, even as you come back again to the field?
Well, if at all, to avoid such trauma from an innocent athlete, I wish to urge them to consider retesting the 27 November 2017 test samples and reanalyzing those samples even in private, because I will not come and claim again, but so that they can find the error where it occurred or where it came from.
All right. Thank you so much, ASBEL, for joining us this morning. You're saying you're ready to come back again to the field. What's your feeling? Are you confident in these bodies?
What in my
you have
body?
the confidence, not in the people that are going to run as well, who are still there. The IAAF is still there. The WADA is still there. I mean, all these agencies that you've been battling for the last 4 years. Do you finally feel that as you even embark again on rising back and coming back to the field, do you feel you are comfortable or you are confident in these organizations to give you justice even as you run again on the field?
Well, I'm coming to run like any other athlete. Remember, all humans deserves sport.
Yes.
Every human deserves the sport. And as I play true, as I play fair, and as I run and participate in the sport, this is the sport that's for the world. It's not for some individuals. It is for everyone that qualifies and that makes to compete. And it will be a shame if I will not be allowed to compete. It will be a shame also if what can I use? If there is a Muscat
discriminate
game,
against
if it is a Muscat game, it will be desperate, so desperate of whoever concerned, if at all, the strength that they are embedded with uses to spoil an innocent human's career. It will be inhuman. Yes.
So you're going to come back again and run. Wish you all the very best. You can as well say something to these fans of ours of the tackle. You can speak a message to them. Maybe speak to someone today who's going through something. Maybe it's not what you were going through, but there's someone as well who is on the pit, on their low. What did you tell these people?
Well, first of all, I know these things happen in our societies, and one could be falsely accused of something, not only in your workplace, and even in schools, even at your workplace, even to that tiny person, that little worker in the farm. Someone say, okay, something has lost and he is stolen, and he is innocent. I feel for that person. I also equally feel for anyone that's innocent in our prisons. Anyone having been falsely accused of an iniquity that he never committed. I want to encourage you. I have gone through that. I know the feeling. I know it's painful. I know it's not easy experience, but never lose hope. Never revenge, and never do the odd one. Never do it. Just maintain your innocence, because that's what will set you free. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in. As well, KIPROP, I want to wish you all the very best. As a personal friend, we're praying for you, and we hope that all things are going to go well for you. I'll be waiting. I'll be very eager to see you competing again in July in Oregon, United States of America. And I hope that when you come back, you'll be coming up with victory, and we'll be waiting for you to listen from you again, and to hear from you.
Thank you.
I will give us a chance to be the first people
Thank
that you get to speak to when you come back to the United States of America. And I want to tell you that you inspire a lot of men. Men go out through a lot of things, especially men, because you realize that people run away from men when they're going through difficulties. People imagine that men have the tenacity and the strength to go through these things. Like, why when mwanaume man, but they don't realize that we're all human. We break down sometimes, we cry sometimes, we give up sometimes. And the fact that you maintained it for the last 4 years, and you're saying that I'm ready to come back again, I'm ready to be this game again, I'm ready to win again, I'm ready to build again, and you're saying it so strongly that I'm ready to be an amateur again, to begin from an amateur state, begin like any other athlete and build up a career again. You're saying that you've closed in mambo yote mafunga. I hope umesamea mtu yote. Is there anything you're holding in your heart?
No, I'm not.
You forgot everybody. You don't have
I just
anything
forgive
against
them.
anybody.
Yeah, let them go. It's okay.
So roho inaanza fresh, mwili inaanza fresh. You're beginning a career, sorry. You're beginning a career all the way from scratch and is building it again. This is an encouragement to any other person who is going through something. And if you're a man that is struggling with something today, know that there's always a chance to stand up on your feet and say, again, I'm going to do this again. And like he has said, nobody can take away your destiny. If you are shaped to be a champion, you'll always be a champion. And sometimes champions fall as well. And sometimes I get a lot of inspiration. Athletics has to be one of the spaces that gets a lot of inspiration from boxing. Muhammad Ali used to speak a lot about rising after every unapigwa ngumi na jamaa unaenda unaona kweli imeisha. You rather begin in the morning and try again. This has been the tackle, the 10th of February 2022, and we've been speaking to ASBEL KIPROP, an athletic champion 1500. He has been away for the last 4 years. He's been struggling with his mental issues as well, struggling with the decisions that were made against him and the batting. But he said, I will be back. And yes, he's back. And he'll be competing again in July. We'll be waiting with bated breath to see how he's going to perform there. He's saying it's clean. The test has been done. It's clean. And we hope and pray that everything goes as it is. Any other person as well that you should support, please keep praying for him. And we want to tell you that we are back. When you are back, we'll also be back to cheer you.
Thank you.
And see you running on the field.
I really appreciate
it.
A
champion again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure having you. Please keep sharing. If there are any questions as well that you want to push, please have that to Skumia. And remember our brothers as well who is in athletics that they keep it clean. And there's also an advice that you've given about our athletes, young athletes, that when you get the money, you get so excited and you start getting so indisciplined. As well, it's very easy to lose path. And he spoke to his 208 self. How old were you in 208?
I was 19. 19?
Yeah. He spoke to his 19-year-old self. And there are some things that he told himself about discipline and all that. We want to remind you again that we're coming to you live from the Rupa's Fun and Fitness Center in Eldoret. Here, Rupa Mall, ukiingia pale kwa kona, utaona, and you get an array of services. There is a state or world-class fitness center or a gymnastic or a gym, whatever you choose to call it, depending on where. Kuna wengine walienda group of schools wanaita gymnastic, wengine walienda fitness center. There's a gym, state of the art gym. Yeah, we also have a swimming pool with trainers. Unaweza kuja hapo unafanya training yako swimming pole. And we also have a studio, as you're seeing here at the back. You'll realize that we do so things. There's videography, we cover event coverage, live coverage and all that. You can always come in here and you get the best service that you can. Ukifika hapo ambene pia umetuma na sisi, basi mambo yako inaweza kuwa shwari zaidi. Pia ukiwa Eldoret hapa na unataka kuvaa kama vile nimevaa hapa, kimbia pale D-Square wear. Thank you Dan for always partnering with us. Get your building 4th floor. Unaweza kupata mng'ara kwa njia shwari zaidi, and you get discounts from us. Ukienda pale useme tumekuruma, basi unaweza kupata discount yako hadi 20% or 20%. Thank you as well Drexel Roofing for always partnering with us and assuring that we're always running, ensuring that our show runs and facilitating us. Thank you so much for partnering with us. Na pia watu wa Orchid Valley, the House of Peptan, Recharge Dawa, tuko hapa. Thank you so much for partnering as well, for partnering with us and ensuring that we have a broadcast and ensuring that we continue to speak these messages that we speak all the time. So make sure that you at least you get to do one of these. If you're building, kimbia pale Rexel Roofing, you get your roof and the discount as well. If you want, if you're going to supermarkets, please ensure that on your shelves unatafuta House of Peptan products. Na pia ukiwa hapa Eldoret, ensure that you gym. If you're in this Eldoret and you're not gymming at the Rupa's Fitness and Fun Center, then I need to have a problem with you. Until tomorrow on Sharia Wiki, see you and take care. This is a tackle and it ends now. Bye-bye.